Pass that to the pack. It is Pack here.
AKA your mama's best friend, your daddy's worst nightmare.
Today's first day of free agency. Well, technically it was yesterday. So I'm covering basically all the major changes of the first day of free agency. I'm going to go in NBA 2K22. I'm going to show you the ratings, what teams look like now, and all that kind of stuff. A couple things to understand. This video is not going to have a lot of editing because I just want to get the content out because this is, time sensitive stuff. It's changing every single second. So that's first. Second thing is that I know it says NBA 2K23 on the title, and that's because 2K does not update the rosters until the brand new game. So I'm just kind of showing you what it's going to look like for NBA 2K23. And then if I do not show your favorite team, it's because they had no major change to talk about yet. Okay, that's all there is to it. If you like this kind of content when it comes to NBA player news, ratings, and rosters, and all that kind of stuff, please join the pack and subscribe. I'm the #1 channel that does it. Let's get this video started. So we start off with the Chicago Bulls, not the Sixers. The only trade they made was adding Andre Drummond onto the team so far. We also know they re-signed Zach LaVine, but now you still have DeMar, Zach LaVine, Vooch, Lonzo, Patrick Williams, Caruso, and adding Andre Drummond coming off the bench is one of the better rebounders, probably the best rebounder in the NBA. They can still score under the basket. Kobe White, Ayo, you still have roster-wise, this is one of the best rosters when healthy in the NBA. Lonzo's only going to get better. He's always going to be 85 next year. Vooch is 85 when he's playing well. Patrick Williams is only going to get better. This is a team that's going to get a lot of traction this year when healthy. I think the Bulls have a lot of upside here. It's actually pretty cool for them. Celtics. This one's a massive one. They end up getting Malcolm Brogdon from the Pacers. They trade a bunch of nothing for Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to keep it honest with you. They traded picks. They traded a bunch of players that we'll go to in a second to show you in the Pacers, but not enough to even worth talk about. I guess Pacers are just blowing it up again. I don't know. Very, very odd decision from the Pacers. But the Celtics, the team that just went to the NBA Finals, the team I was worried about because I was like, the rest of the East is going to get a lot better, and the Celtics might fall behind here. Maybe not when you have 290 overall players, Defensive Player of the Year, and now a great NBA player. This is a scary lineup with Robert Williams still, Al Horford still. Yeah, and then, and they pick up Danilo Gallinari on a cheap contract. This is a scary team. Y'all should definitely be worried about the Celtics again next season. They can totally make the finals again. Now the Utah Jazz. So they look very, very different. And that's because the Utah Jazz are reportedly blowing it up. They did trade Rudy Gobert. So now they get Patrick Beverley in return. They get Jared Vanderbilt, I believe. They get Leonardo Bolmaro, and they get Malik Beasley as well. And Malik Beasley is actually a great player to have, so that's not bad at all. This is odd. I guess the Jazz just don't believe they have it anymore, which is weird because Donovan Mitchell's 25. He's getting better every year. Do you really want to let this man go or not give this man a good team every year? Odd. I guess the Jazz are deciding that this team just can't do it. I don't know who's going to trade for Donovan Mitchell. It's going to be very fascinating, or he's going to end up staying. But this team with Donovan Mitchell, this team how it is right now, isn't winning anything. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the West because the West is just so good right now. So, yeah, it is what it is. Very odd. Who knows how good the Jazz are going to be next season. Very weird. The Kings. So the Kings, I'm having a little hope for because they have Sabonis, they have De'Aaron Fox, they have Harrison Barnes, who's still good. They draft Keegan Murray, who's going to be raw. They sign Herter. They sign Malik Monk. And they still have Davion Mitchell and Rashawn Holmes. This is an okay team. I think they could sniff playoffs, but they've been doing that for the past couple years. That's not good enough for the Kings. There's rumors that they're going to try to trade for KD, which would be wild. But, this roster alone is going to be an improvement from last season. But I don't know if it'll make the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see. The Knicks. So these ratings, I think, are a little inaccurate. I think, so Jalen Brunson's on the Knicks now. It means that Jalen Brunson would be the best player on the team. But realistically, assuming everyone's playing well, Julius Randle or RJ Barrett would be the best player by far. RJ Barrett was playing an 85 overall at the end of the year. Julius Randle just a year ago was an 89 overall. So let's not act like Jalen Brunson would be the best player on the Knicks, even though they paid a lot of money to get the man. So this is a little disingenuous rating-wise. Mitchell Robinson is also probably an 80 overall. And then they have a bunch of young guys like Quickly, Rose, Toppin. Oh, not Rose, but Toppin. They just signed Hardenstein, who's actually really good. They have stuff here. There's something here. There's something here for sure for the Knicks. I actually think they can make the playoffs in the East if they figure it out. But I think Jalen Brunson's an okay signing. Not terrible. The Lakers. The Lakers make a ton of signings to try to fill this team out to make it look a little bit more like a championship level team. You still have maybe the 2 best players on the same team in the NBA right here. Russell Westbrook, you hope isn't as bad as only an 82 overall. Melo's an okay bench player. You sign Lonnie Walker. You sign Juan Toscano Anderson. You sign Damian Jones. And you finally sign Troy Brown Jr., who's actually not even on this roster, I think. So they don't even have the other player. But Kendrick Nunn, we don't know how good he is. Like, I think they needed shooting. They added Lonnie Walker to add shooting. Also, Juan Toscano Anderson can shoot and play defense. So, like, there's definitely stuff here for the Lakers. I don't disagree with the decisions they made, but I still think they're going to need a little bit more if they want to win a championship with this roster, I think. Quickly for the Mavericks, they lose Jalen Brunson, right? So now Spencer Dinwiddie be the 3rd best player on the team, and then they add JaVale McGee as center. Now, he would probably be the backup center to Christian Wood if they play him at center, but they can play him at power forward. Very, very weird situation for the Mavericks. I don't know what they're going to do to make this roster better, but JaVale McGee's not a bad player to pick up. He's been very good for a very long time. He's been solid. He's been one of those solid centers in the NBA, 3-time NBA champion. Believe it or not, one of the most accomplished centers in the NBA right now. You can't really hate on this man anymore. The jokes about JaVale McGee are gone. He's always a solid pickup for any team. For the Nuggets, believe it or not, they actually sign all the way in the back here, DeAndre Jordan. Sure, bro. I don't know how DeAndre Jordan still finds contracts, but he's on the Nuggets now. Good for y'all Nuggets, I guess. The Raptors end up signing Otto Porter. They steal him from the Warriors, so this is not a bad pickup either. I think it makes the team a little bit better, but this team definitely isn't a championship level team, so unless a couple players get a lot better, which could happen. I mean, literally, Scotty Barnes, OG, and Gary Trent are all 24 and younger. So, I mean, who knows, right? But I think adding Otto Porter is just adding bench depth, and that's all it is. Kind of the massive one. This is the Rudy Gobert one. So Rudy Gobert now on the Timberwolves. This would make the Timberwolves have almost borderline 390 overall players on their roster. The only other team to ever do this was the Nets that didn't even play together because, you know, a lot of different reasons. You have D'Angelo Russell still, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Kyle Anderson you sign, and Bryn Forbes you sign. This is a contender now. I think they're just gonna play Cat at power forward. It's going to be very interesting to see how good they are this year. It's a pretty crazy pickup. Quickly for the Blazers, they end up getting Gary Trent II. And now this team, even though I don't think it's a championship level team, I do think Damian Lillard has a lot of help. Nurkic is great. Simons is great. Grant is great. Hart's been playing very good. Nasir Little's been solid. Sharp was solid. Eric Bledsoe's not terrible off the bench. Gary Payton's really good. Justice Winslow has his moments. Keon Johnson had good moments last year. I mean, this is a good team that I actually think would make the playoffs with Damian Lillard if everyone's healthy. I think they could do it. Finally, for the Warriors, it's basically they add Dante DiVincenzo, which is a great pickup because he was really good. And then remember that James Wiseman's coming back next season. You do lose Otto Porter. You do lose Gary Payton II. But I still think they have so much to repeat this year that it's totally doable for the Warriors. These are the major changes. What do y'all think? A lot of crazy ones. The craziest one to me is the Timberwolves, and the underrated one, I think the underrated one has to be the Celtics getting Brogdon. That's pretty crazy. And Danilo Gallinari. What do y'all think? Leave it in the comments below. If you like the channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.